I hope. So we are double streaming again, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, the news of the day, nobody can miss it. The Iranians have come out and they have said that they've got a little surprise that is going to be remembered for centuries. I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. I don't even think Donald Trump knows what that is. But we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about all the breaking news, everything that's been happening. Also, ladies and gentlemen, at the end, towards the end of this live stream, I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit weird. It's a little bit peculiar, but it's one of those things that I believe everybody should be talking about. Everybody should be thinking, what is actually going on here? And I'm talking about these boogospheres that have been collected in Colombia. Guys, listen, it's absolutely insane what's happening right now. Anyway, let me jump up and get some Emma Green over on YouTube is saying, hey, Sean, and Emma Green, I am saying, hey, right back to you. So let me jump and get some comments. Frankie Gen X is saying, how long you on for tonight? I genuinely don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight, but I will tell you this. I tried to get on a little bit earlier, but the internet totally was like, it was just been an absolute nightmare. So I had to reset the whole thing, but we are on now, guys. But we are on now. I guess that's what's all important. Donald Trump says he may or may not strike Iran. Israel-Iran conflict rages, ongoing aerial strikes amid war of worlds. Nigel Farage backs whipping our Iranian tyrants as Donald Trump considers launching airstrikes. And then we have, we've got more about the weather. Listen, guys, I did a video earlier. And it's kind of one of those things that if you live in the United Kingdom, you kind of pay lip service to it and you kind of don't realize how critical this actually is. Right now in the United Kingdom, guys, where we live in Yorkshire, I'm pretty sure that we haven't had rain for about 4 months. Yes, we've had the odd little shower now and then, but we haven't had any like significant downfall. I want to say about 4 months, guys. Now, the reason I know this is because I did some roof repairs on the roof and I'm waiting for a good downpour so I can go up and just make sure everything's okay. But guys, listen, if you haven't got water now, like, I don't know how many times I can tell you this. Like, you right there who sat there at home and you're thinking, I'll get it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get it to water. No, just turn the tap on and get water out the tap. No, it'll be fine. No, we've always got water in the taps. Guys, listen, like, believe me when I say this. Look back through my videos. Literally, look back through my videos. Water, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're going to run out in the United Kingdom. Not everyone in the United Kingdom, obviously, but I do believe there's going to be isolated regions where the water is going to go off. Right, let me jump. Right, where am I going to go first? Let me go. In fact, let me open this. Right, let me come on to the. I'm coming on to the TikTok comments, guys, because there's quite a lot. Listen, guys, the chat is. In fact, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it always weird how when we're on the live stream, these things develop? So we're on now. I'm giving you guys the latest. I'm telling you guys what's happening. But as we're on the live stream, things may develop. Things may happen. So if you guys see a development, see things happening, please put it in the comments and we'll talk about it together. But I don't think the Israelis have the Israeli aircraft, the way they're military, the way they're structured. They don't have. I reckon by my analysis, they've probably got 2 days left. They've probably got 2 days of airstrikes at this pace, and then they're going to have to really lower that pace down. That would be in the military, in the infantry, they'd say what would they say? Rounds expended, or they would say hang on. Right, so hello everyone. So we've got April, who's April, who's changed her name now to April Sniper. We've got Joshua, we've got Jin G, we've got Lilani, we've got Oscar 7, we've got Oodles of Noodles. Oodles of Noodles. If you're still on Oodles of Noodles, what are your favourite flavour noodle? Because listen, I'm a big noodle fan, guys. I love noodles. Kevo is saying, I don't think even America is prepared for Iran on this one. Listen, guys, we're talking there about the latest news that the Iranians have come out and they've said, we have a surprise for infidels. We have a surprise for infidels. We're going to show infidels big surprise tonight. It will be talked about for centuries. Iranian technology will reign supreme. Like, so the Iranians are threatening us, guys. The Iranians are threatening us. Right, guys, listen, there's lots of comments. I do apologize if I'm not getting everyone's comments. The TikTok comments is absolutely bonkers right now, guys. So I'm just going to jump down on TikTok. Oh, hang on. Oodles of Noodles is saying, in fact, Witchy Lab is saying here, and I'm saying right back to Witchy Lab. Oodles of Noodle is saying, I'm a plain Jane. I like chicken flavour is the best. Thanks for the shout out. Oodles of Noodles, don't worry. Listen, I like noodles myself. I like all types of noodles. Right, I'm going to jump over to some comments on YouTube. Emma Green is saying, go on, Farage. And I think she's talking about, well, let's look, actually, because Farage has just said, come out, and he said, where is it? Where are we looking? Farage is basically just saying, I'll tell you exactly what it says. Farage backs whipping out Iranian tyrants as Donald Trump, wiping out Iranian tyrants as Donald Trump considers launching strikes. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know where I stand on this, and you guys know where I am. I genuinely don't see any scenario, any chain of events where the United Kingdom get involved in this conflict militarily. That's not because I don't think the United Kingdom genuinely want to. I think that's because I don't think strategically it makes sense. If you consider, I don't know, guys, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But if you consider that there is another conflict right now, I don't know, maybe if there was a conflict in Eastern Europe or something, it would make no sense for Britain to divide its forces and go and fight a conflict. And again, I don't think we don't have the manpower anyway, to go and fight a potential conflict in the Middle East and a conflict in Europe. That's why the United States will take the lead role in this, with their regional allies, Israel. But Emma Green saying, go on, Farage. So I guess, some of the people here are, there's some quite strong opinions in the chat tonight, guys. Monocrov is saying, warmongers, every single one of them. Lessons, nothing learned from 2003. Same old bloodhounds in charge, just in different clothing. Do you know what? Maybe the real bloodhounds are still in charge, and maybe the real bloodhounds are still wearing the same clothing behind the scenes. From now is saying, I was wondering, Iran and Israel are chucking missiles at each other, that they all got to go over Iraq. Will Iraq not get the hump? Well, okay, so if Iraq gets the hump, if Iraq complains, there's not much they can do. Like, literally, there isn't really much the Iraqis can do. So whether the Iraqis are happy with missiles going over their country and airstrikes going over their country, doesn't really matter because they can't do anything. Right, Silly Galadi saying hi from Haifa. Hello from hello right back to you from Haifa. Shane Vickerman is saying good evening, folks. And Silly Galadi is saying we have Big Brother on Israeli TV now. Not very worried. Yeah, look, guys, have you seen? I know we watched it yesterday, but have you all seen now the Iranian? In fact, Silly, can you tell me this? Have we all seen the Iranian news presenter, the woman, and she's there in the hijab and she's giving the news and she's doing the thing, And like, you know, she's saying that they'll be protected by Almighty God, and then all of a sudden there's an Israeli airstrike comes through. And I just thought it was a bit ironic. Carl, my brother, is saying USA versus Iran is coming. Her who ran off, yeah, her who ran off. So, yeah, Frankie Gen X is saying her who ran off. So, I guess, like, you know, look, and I don't know what the answer is. I genuinely don't know what the answer is here. But on one side of this argument, you've got this Iranian state, you've got this Iranian news reader, and she's saying that she's going to be protected by the Almighty Lord. And then an Israeli airstrike goes in, and I think at that moment she thought that she might not be protected. I don't know. Maybe she did. I don't know. We'll leave it there, guys. We'll leave it there. Right, Miss T saying, right, I'm not going to read your comment, Miss T. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I want to address something here real quickly. I did a video yesterday. Was it yesterday? I did a video yesterday or the day before about the potential of, in fact, yes, yeah, who ran off. Right, let me take that out. Yeah, so I did a video yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, about the threat to military bases in the United Kingdom. Now, a lot of people think that because it's a military base, like the use of, the long things that stuff comes out at the end, like I was shocked about the amount of people who think that if you go into a military base, you'll just get like, somebody will just come and like use and discharge those things, those firearms. That's not the case, guys, all right? That is absolutely not the case. And anybody who says it is the case, they're just wrong, all right? You would have to go on something which is called the rules of engagement, where you have to carry it in your top left. You have to actually carry the rules of engagement in your pocket. So the rules of engagement are, and I'm pretty sure they're the same, would be if there's a threat to you, if there's a threat to yourself or a threat to somebody else's life, that is the only way that you can do that. And then there's a lot of people saying, yeah, the RMPs, the red caps will be there and they'll arrest everyone. I'm like, how long do you think that takes, ladies and gentlemen? Like, how long do you think that takes? Like, just conceptualize it now, right? Just conceptualize this. I don't know, an F-35, and now I'm using an F-35 because it's easy to visualize. It's easy to visualize and it's easy for people to understand. It might not be an F-35. It could be something at a naval base. It could be some logistics, a piece of logistics that is very key. That's because it's logistics, it's key, but it's not under the same security. So just conceptualize this now, guys. A coach full of people turn up at a military base, they run off the coach, they cut through the fence, couple hundred meters, they're on the runway. How long do you think it's going to be before those red caps are there? How long do you think it's going to be before there's any sort of resistance? They've got those guys have got at least 30 minutes. They've got at least 30 minutes. Because this is what will happen. Somebody will get on the radio and say there's been a breach in the perimeter at this location. The first thing they'll do is they'll try and do the 4 C's. So it would be confirm, control, what was it? A confirm, clear, control, cordon. So they try and confirm it first. They go up there. They'd send 2 guys out in a Land Rover. Right, Mick, John, get in the Land Rover. Go and confirm if there's a hole in the fence. Right, so they go out in the Land Rover. Wow, they see a load of people going bonkers to an F-35 or whatever. It might not be an F-35. Right, they get on the radio. They're like, yeah, boss. We've got like a load of people smashing this F-35 up. What? Yeah, honestly, mate, there's loads of people smashing this F-35 up. Oh, God, right, okay. So then he's going to have to get on the phone. He's going to have to phone somebody else. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, real life is not like the Matrix, all right? It's not like somebody hits an alarm button and then 5 seconds later you've got a load of people storming out of a back room fully kitted up. These things take time. And I know this. The bad guys know this. Adversaries know this. So I'm saying, and I stick by what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, the threat to military bases is a lot higher and a lot more credible than you think. And I do believe that moving forwards, we are going to see some sort of attempt on a military base. Alas, let me get to these comments. Guys, because they are going crackers. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I know I have to keep saying this, but when I've got the chat open, like I have now, I have to keep coming down to the most relevant, comments, which are at the bottom. But anyway, let me jump up and get some. So Remix Madness is saying, I think the UK are going to get involved now because of Trump's silly mistake. Nope. The United Kingdom are not getting. Guys, listen. I'll make you a bet. If the United Kingdom, and I need to be clear about this, guys. If the United Kingdom conduct any offensive operations, I will do a forfeit. Ladies and gentlemen. I will do a forfeit. I will eat my own hair. You heard it here, guys, all right? If the United Kingdom get involved overtly here, guys, I'm talking here, guys, overtly, all right? If the United Kingdom get involved in the Middle East militarily, overtly now I'm talking about, overtly, because I've no doubt they will have some involvement behind the scenes. But if the military of the United Kingdom get involved in the Middle East, I will overtly, I need to be clear about that, guys, okay? I will eat my own hair. Guys. I will. That is the forfeit I will do. I will live stream it. I will eat my own hair. There you go, guys. There you go. I can't say fairer than that. I can't tell you how confident I am with my predictions, guys. I can't tell you how confident I am with my predictions. Right, I'm going to jump down because I've just seen a comment there, something about Keir Starmer. Right, Tansari. Oh, maybe okay. Right, I'm looking at the comments here. Maybe I need to go and get the scissors. Right. So Carl is saying UK is assisting with fueling in Cyprus. Yeah, what I'm saying is if the UK get involved, and start dropping things, that's what I'm saying. UK is already complicit. Did you hear what Starmer said? No, I didn't, but I'm just going to jump onto this now. Starmer. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely nothing that the United Kingdom can contribute, and it's not about credibility. It's about contribution right now, guys. It's about contribution. Right, I'm trying to find what Starmer said. I can't find anything from all I can get what Starmer said is Starmer urges diplomacy. That's all I'm getting, guys. If somebody can tell me what Starmer said, I'll talk about it. But guys, I will stand by what I say. NOTS 420. Yeah, so NOTS 420. Listen, we've got to be clear here, okay? NOTS 420. The assets that have been moved to the Middle East, I don't even think it's F-35s, the Typhoons that have been moved into the Middle East, they will be there to protect RAF Akatere. I do not see, and I'm quite clear about this, guys, I do not see any scenario where the United Kingdom gets involved. Now, I know again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going against what all the mainstream media articles are saying. I'm going against what everybody's saying. Oh, Starmer's moving. I'm going against it. I always go against what they say, and I'm always right. Right, unknown user is saying hi, Raven. I'm saying hi, right back to unknown user. Right, Sharon Stewart. I can't even listen to Starmer's voice. He gives me a dry poke. Yeah. Oh, right. Guys, listen. Have you all seen Starmer? This is okay. Have you all seen Keir Starmer pick up the papers? Can you put it in the comments, guys, if you've seen Keir Starmer? So I'll just give you this scenario. Donald Trump and Keir Starmer, they're like having a little press conference or whatever, and Donald Trump saying, "Don't worry, the United Kingdom, we like the United Kingdom and they're protected, and it's because I like them. Because I like them. That's the only reason. That's the only reason they're safe, because I like them. And then I think Donald Trump opens a file and all the papers drop out. Anyway, now I'm not saying there's anything in this, guys. I'm not saying there's anything in this, right? But remember what I think about the word but. When I was in the military, we got this thing. You get this thing called, I can't remember what it's called. It's like every year you get a certain amount of money that you can spend on personal education. So one of the lads, Jay, he decided to do a psychology degree. He's like, do you know what? I'm going to do a degree in psychology. Like, you are? He's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a degree in psychology. So everybody's like, straight bloke. Anyway. He was talking, and one of the things he said that he was told in a lecture, and they were doing about different types of offenders and traits around them. And the lecturer said, people who have done sex crimes, literally, that's what he said, people who have done sex crimes will always pick something up. And he used to do it, this lecturer. What he used to do is he used to, and he used to have to go to prisons and talk to people. So what he'd do is every time he'd drop a pen on the floor, and they always used to go down to grab it to pick it up. And that just used to be the duty joke in the battalion. So like if you dropped a pen on the floor, whoever went to pick it up was that type of offender or a potential. Was a potential offender. And when I saw Keir Starmer, and again, look, guys, I don't know if there's anything in this, and there's probably not, I don't know. But when I see a Keir Starmer straight away go to pick those papers up, I was like, interesting, absolutely interesting. But anyway, guys, let me get these comments. So many comments again, ladies and gentlemen. Right, where are we? Linda Lewis saying, hi Sean, I just watched 3 Raptors landing at RAF Lakenheath. They were amazing. Yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, look, I don't want to turn this into me talking about aircraft, but the F-22 Raptor is absolutely phenomenal. It's beautiful, it's dangerous, it represents so much that is awesome. The F-35 will never be able to compete against the F-22, even though it's more expensive and it's more technologically advanced. The F-22 Raptor was built as an air superiority aircraft, so its only role is to take down other aircraft. There's nothing like it, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing like it. There'll never be anything else like it. Drones will take over that. That is the last of a dying breed, guys. It's a fantastic aircraft. Although my personal favorite aircraft is the FA-18 Super Hornet. But anyway, but yeah, watching aircraft's fantastic. Especially fast jets. Right, Nadine is saying, do you not think it weird that Cobra meeting was held after Iran issued its statement? So these Cobra meetings, ladies and gentlemen, so what's it stand for? Cabinet Office Briefing Room Alpha, Cobra, that's what it stands for. It's nothing cool, it literally just stands for Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. So the Cobra meetings, they get called all the time, guys. They get called all the time. All I'm speculating is they will have gone through potential outcomes of this threat. What's going to happen? But guys, look, I do not see any scenario where the United Kingdom gets involved. I'm sticking by that. I'm not changing my mind, although everybody on the mainstream is saying, you know, we're going to get involved, the United Kingdom. We're not, because there's a bigger fish to fry for the United Kingdom. Sounds like Russia, looks like Russia, probably in Eastern Europe, and, you know, put 2 and 2 together. Right, unknown user is saying, hello, unknown user. It would be nice to address you by name, but if you was christened unknown user, I'm down with that. Unknown user is saying, what's your predictions on Iran war outcome? US-led invasion, March 2026. If you want a deeper analysis, let me know. So that would be the outcome. That would be the outcome, guys, okay? That would be the outcome. US invasion, March 2026. Alan B is saying Trump summoned reporters and is in the situation room again. Yeah, look, guys, okay? I didn't say that there wouldn't be airstrikes before March 2026. I said boots on the ground. March 2026 is the best time, guys. It's the best time. Right, where is it? Right, coral reefing. No, I do not. So coral reefing here saying, do I see the supreme leader being transcended to a beam of light and go and getting his 72? He's 72. I don't know. I mean, they say virgins, but the reality is they're probably going to be kids. Getting his 7. Oh, am I blocked? Am I restricted? No, I'm good. Right, guys, listen. I need to calm myself down, okay? Stop triggering me like this, coral reefing. Stop triggering me. I don't want to get the live banned again. I don't want to get the live banned. Right. So, do I see the supreme leader be transcending to a beam of light? I don't. What you would do if that happened, you would unify those. You would unify the Muslim world. You would unify the Muslim world against whoever did that. So what I would, and again, it doesn't really make any difference whether he's with or without. What makes the difference is the aircraft, the missile launchers, the deep underground military structures, the deep underground military bases, and all that sort of stuff. That's what really makes the difference. If you take all that out and you win militarily, he can go and live in Oman as long as he wants. It doesn't really matter. Mark Hardman here. Mark Hardman is saying the Americans will definitely go into Iran and the British will also follow. I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. Not initially, anyway. What I think is happening, and look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're joining for the first time or you're new to this channel. And if I've not said it yet, have I? I've not said it yet. If you're new to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, please give me a follow. Please give me a like, a subscribe. We are double streaming now. We're double streaming on TikTok. We are streaming on YouTube as well. I am going to pay Elon Musk my £11 a month, and I'm going to be streaming on X as well. But some of the tropes of this channel, some of the directions of this channel that's been for over a year is US-led boots on the ground March 2026, which I do think will happen. I don't see any scenario where the United Kingdom is involved. Why? There's nothing that the United Kingdom can contribute. There's nothing that the UK can contribute. We don't have any amphibious landing craft. We have limited aircraft. We have limited aircraft carrying capabilities. Where's my Ali Berry? It's there. Do you know what? I should probably put the light on it. Hang on. Whoever just asked where my Ali Berry is, it's there. It's like it's there on a skull. But yeah, there's nothing that the United Kingdom can contribute to this conflict, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to mainstream media, contrary to what anybody else says about this conflict, all right? Contrary to what anybody else says, if it's different to what I'm saying, they are wrong, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. They are just downright wrong. And I will take arguments, guys. I will take criticisms. If you guys want to put a criticism and think I'm wrong, that is absolutely fine. But guys, listen, just articulate it, okay? Just articulate it. Oodles of Noodles is saying, what are your thoughts on sleeper cells in the United States? Rife for activation. That's what I'm saying. I would say sleeper cells in the United States are rife for activation. Rife for activation. Jacob, look at Jacob here. Jacob, we're already in World War III, my friend. Like, Jacob, what? Okay, Jacob, what would you class as a world war? So I'll wait for you, Jacob. Jacob, can you let me know what you would class as a world war? like multiple countries fighting multiple domains. Like, would you class that as a world war? Like, just because the BBC hasn't told you, you're in a world war doesn't mean it's not true. Right, Anonymous. Raven, why do you skip all the comments that talk sense? Right, do you know what? I don't. Anonymous is saying, Raven, why do you skip all the comments that talk sense? I don't. Right. Anonymous, I will answer you. If you challenge me, Anonymous, I will answer your next question. But genuinely, when I get the questions, the chat goes so bonkers. What I have to do is I have to click next, and it just skips down. So, Anonymous, if you challenge me, and I'll answer it in real time. And I am going to try and look for your comment now, Anonymous, because I do like being challenged. Where is he? Anonymous, we're waiting. Guys, listen, I'm just waiting for Anonymous because he or she is going to challenge me. I don't know what Anonymous is saying, but I'm gonna challenge. He's going to challenge me. Right, Anonymous. Right, here we are. I'm going to have to pin this because sometimes they jump up. Right, Anonymous is saying, you do know it's impossible for Iran to be invaded on the ground because of the terrain. No, Anonymous, not in the slightest. Iran will be invaded by an amphibious assault, and that will come on the south coast of Iran, probably off the coast of south coast of Iran. Basically, will get an amphibious assault. Next question, Anonymous. I'm here all day, Anonymous. Trust me, the United States can get amphibious assault questions in there. Amphibious assault questions, amphibious assault vehicles in there. So explain how you come to that conclusion. Right, so Anonymous. Right, I don't mean, listen, guys, I don't mean to like insult anyone's intelligence, and I'm really not doing that. But you do realize, don't you, that an amphibious, like, you put men on a ship, you sail that ship to the beach, and the men get off. Like, I don't understand how you don't understand that. Like, so. Okay. So, Anonymous, if you was in the forces for 20 years, right, that must mean I don't know when you was in the forces, actually, but, like, the United States military, they have all the aircraft. They have all the air superiority. So anything on that south coast of Iran, it will be bombarded from the air and from the sea until there's pretty much nothing left. At that point, that's when you send your amphibious assault craft in, full of US Marines. They land, the gates come down, and like the people come off. I don't know how you don't understand that. That's like I genuinely don't know how this. I genuinely don't know how you don't understand that. That's like a thing. So, Anonymous, I'm waiting. First troop, B squadron, roll. Right, okay, I don't care. Right, I don't care. Right, Anonymous, where are you? Right, listen, guys, I'm not turning this live stream into like what unit, like you know. I'm not turning this into a urinating contest, guys. I'm not turning this into a urinating contest. I'm telling you guys what's coming next. All right, I tell you guys what's coming next all the time. So, Anonymous, like, with respect, Anonymous, you're not giving anything legible. So I'm going to mute you for the live. You're getting muted. Newman there has just said, do you love war? No, I don't love war. I don't love war at all. It's happening, and it just happens to be one of my areas of expertise. So, Newman, you're borderline, but you know what? Anonymous has really annoyed me with the ridiculous question that he asked, or she asked. So, unfortunately, Newman, where's Newman? Let me find Newman, because Newman's going as well. Newman, your time is almost up. Newman, as soon as I find you, you're going. Right. Oh, Newman, where's he gone? Newman? Where's he gone? Right. I think, there he is. That one, and then that one, and then Newman, you're going as well. Right, guys, look. I don't mind being challenged, but at least challenge it with something sensical that makes sense. Like, Do we really think that like the United States military can't right, guys, I'm not even going to go there, guys. I'm not even going to go there. Not even going to go there. Right. Right, Angela Turner is saying, should we prepare in the United Kingdom? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been getting people prepared for such a long time. If you live in the United Kingdom, sorry guys, I'm just moving something. If you guys live in the United Kingdom, the main thing that is going to happen to the United Kingdom is the summer of carnage, guys. It's the summer of carnage. And I say this all the time. Like, some of my very first videos were get yourselves water. Like, if you forget everything else, guys, get yourselves water. Get yourselves water. Oh, Frankie Gen X, right, Frankie Gen X, right, hang on. Frankie Gen X, I will try, right, Frankie Gen X, I'm going to pin that, right. So water, guys, listen, just get water. We think in the United Kingdom that we're never going to run out of water. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, where we live, it's probably not rained for at least, I want to say 4 months. I'm confident at saying 3 months. Maybe it's a little bit longer. But the grass is dry. Everywhere is dry. Not all the reservoirs, but the reservoirs are very low. You know, and the water situation, guys, all right, it's bad. It's critical. And I do believe at some point in the United Kingdom, we're going to have water shortages. But right now, you can go to your local supermarket. In fact, we went to but we went to Aldi the other day, and you can still buy like 5 liters of water. In fact, I saw my mum in there buying the same. You can buy 5 liters of water for like £1 something, maybe £1.20 or something, maybe £1.25. I don't know, but that is a ridiculous deal, guys. All right, and you know when the water goes off, just guys, look. You know when the water goes, guys, I'm going to come onto YouTube in a second. I've just realized there's loads of comments on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I was ranting and having to explain to people with the combined mental capacity of 3 that the United States can do amphibious assaults, right? We don't need to deal with it. That's not even a question. Like, and if you're going to challenge me, guys, at least challenge me with something challenging, not like, no, they can't because somebody said they can't, all right? Anyway, right, I'm not going to go down there. Water, guys, all right? Water. And remember what I keep saying, guys, okay? Hibernate, relocate, evacuate. If anybody wants me to go over those 3 things, guys, hibernate, relocate, evacuate, I'll go over them at some point if you just give me a shout. But I'm going to go on to the YouTube, guys. I'm going to go on to the YouTube. From now is saying anonymous is a Walter Mitty, I bet. Yeah, listen. So for those of you guys who don't know, a Walter Mitty is somebody who pretends to be that they were in the military. Now, me personally, I think it's funny. I do. I think it's really funny. Just visualize this, guys. I was on machine guns course in where is it? Like, in Devon, it's on, what's the base? I can't remember is it Bournemouth? I think it's Bournemouth. I can't remember where it is. It's on the south coast in Devon, basically. There's this big machine gun range, and you go down there, you do the machine guns. Anyway, so we was down there doing the machine guns, and we went out to the pub there. You know, it was, this is going back some time. It was England versus Argentina in the football. And so we were watching the football. I'm not a big fan of football, but I went out with the blokes and I'm watching it. So you can imagine now, there's like maybe 8 or 9 parachute regiment guys in this pub, right? This is God's honest truth, right? So like 8 or 9 parachute regiment guys in this pub. And just this random guy came up to us and he's watching the football. He says, yeah, didn't like it, the Argies, last time I was over. I was like, all right, mate. I couldn't care less. I went, all right, mate. However, he pulled a picture out of his pocket and it was him dressed like he had a parachute regiment berry on and the number 2s. But if you do that for a job, and that's your working dress, straight away you can tell that it's fake. He had the wrong type of belt on. He had the wrong lanyard. And it just wasn't right. And like straight away within not even a millisecond, because don't forget, all these little details. You're made to do these, and when you're made to do these when you go on a parade, when you go on someone's funeral, when you go on a big event. But like he was talking, he didn't know who we were, but he was talking to us, and he was talking about the Falklands War to us. It was fantastic it was really interesting. But anyway, guys, MS is saying, I believe Trump dropped the papers on purpose to show the UK who is in charge. Nicola Jolt is saying the US military can defeat Iran. There's no question about it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, and Alex Cullen is saying, I live next to a reservoir. Nicholas Jolt is saying, no rain for 5 months. So this is a question, if you're still on, Nicholas Jolt. Have you had no rain for 5 months? I know for us it's probably about 4 months. I don't think it's 5. I'd be confident in saying it's 3. But I don't know, yeah, but I'm sure there are some places in the United Kingdom who've not had rain for a long time. Lidl has the cheapest stuff, even cheaper than Aldi, says Nicholas Jolt again. But he shops at Tesco, though. Guys, listen, who shops at Tesco? The prices at Tesco's. Oh, and they have that club card price, don't they, guys? Listen, I'm sorry for digressing slightly. I went into Tesco's like a couple of months ago, and I got to the counter, and I put my stuff down, and the woman, she's like, 11 quid. And I worked it out in my head, and I was like, no, it's like 7 tops. And she said, oh, that's just the club card price. I was like, what? She said, yeah, that's the club card price. I said, you know what? Keep your stuff. I won't be coming back. Thank you very much. And I've not been to Tesco since. Right, anyway. All right, and Alex Cullen was just saying that as a joke. Right, guys, let's come back to what's been happening in the world. I want to jump on, guys, now, and I want to just do an Iran check on the news. Right, 15 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago. Right, let's go to that one. You're just going to open a tab up now, guys. Just going to open that one, and I'm going to open that one. So there has been some breaking news, guys, from 15 minutes ago. So obviously we've been talking while this has happened. Oh, I think we've got a little video here from Trump. No, we haven't. Live updates. Trump says he hasn't made up his mind on Iran strikes. Guys, listen. Donald Trump's going to leave this until the last safe moment. He's going to leave it till the last safe moment. That's what I believe, anyway. Right, where are we? So Donald Trump says, I have ideas as to what to do, he said, adding, I like to make a final decision 1 second before. Well, isn't that when we all make the final decision? US lawmakers say Gulf Arab leaders want Iran's nuclear program to end, but preferably not by force. So that doesn't mean they don't want it not by that means that they will accept it by force as well, guys. Listen, I've said this all along, ladies and gentlemen. I've said it. We are heading to a global conflict on an industrial scale. Right, where are we? What about Slava? Arwen is saying, I've pinned it, saying, what about Slava? Like Slava is in like the Russian or the Ukrainian word. Slava is in like glory. I don't know. What do you mean? What about glory? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. If you can elaborate on that, Arwen, or maybe you misspelled something. I don't know. He has made up his mind up. He just can't tell us. Looks like your Saqib is saying, looks like your Iran prediction came a year early. No. Listen, guys, I'm still confident with what I'm saying, guys. Okay. I'm still confident about what I'm saying. The window of opportunity for boots on the ground would be March 2026. Now, I know that sounds a long time away, but it's not. Think about it. The United States gets involved next month with airstrikes. We have a protracted airstrike, missile strike. Then the USS Nimitz gets hit. Then the United States has to mobilize. these things take time, guys. They take longer than you think. So I'm still confident about my March 2026, guys. I'm still confident about March 2026. May have unicorn poop. Oh, what? Right, okay, right. I'll do unicorn poops and then I'll do the other thing. So, unicorn poops, you say, may have read wrong, but headlines, Iran has no internet. Yeah, it's very easy to turn people's internet off, guys. Right, okay, Arwin, oh, you predicted it for the 13th of June and it happened. Who said that? So Blojo there is just saying you predicted it for the 13th of June and it happened. Yeah, guys, look, it's not me predicting these things. It's me looking at the information. And analysing it and saying, right, this is when it's most likely to happen. And I'm saying US boots on the ground in Iran is March 2026. That's the window of opportunity. Yes, it might happen, it might happen before then. But I'm still steadfast with that date, guys. All right. It seems like things are moving quickly now. It seems like things are moving fast. But think about the logistics that you need to get on ships. Think about the food and the water to supply 600,000 troops, which I'm speculating is what it's going to take for the initial foothold in Iran. Right, and Arwen is saying, what about Ukraine? So guys, listen, this is what's going to happen in this order. And I'm not saying anything now that I've not said before. The United States are going to pull funding from Ukraine and then they're going to focus in the Middle East. The United Kingdom has already taken the lead role in this conflict. Now, the United Kingdom has to take the lead role in this conflict because the United Kingdom have the strike capacity. Now, when you're in a conflict and you're fighting a war, you need to lead from the front. You can't lead from the back. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It fails every time. So if you're at the front, you have to take the lead. That's why the United Kingdom's taking the lead in this conflict. Anyway, let me jump down and get these comments, and I'll come on to YouTube in a second. Emma661 is saying, "What's going to happen to shock the world tonight? I'm worried." Yeah, so this is from Iran. So Iran is saying that they're going to do a surprise tonight, and they're going to shock the world for centuries. I don't know. Maybe the Ayatollah is going to do a little dance or something. He's maybe going to do the Macarena. I genuinely don't know, guys. It could just be fake news. It could just be fake news. Frankie Gen X saying, "Flipping hell, he's answering." Right, Frankie Gen X, give me more questions and I'll answer as quickly as I can. But yeah, listen, guys, I'm in the dark as much as you. If I was a betting man and I was to speculate what Iran is going to do, I'd say they're going to do nothing. That's my thoughts. Not because I'm like disrespecting anyone or anything, but because I think their options are really limited right now, guys. I think their options are really limited right now, and I think they're just trying to scare people. Right, I'm jumping over to YouTube. Right, Silly Galade, who's in Israel, is saying Iran is a paper tiger. I wouldn't say they're a paper tiger because they clearly have teeth and they clearly have claws. But the problem with these totalitarian regimes where they have a dictator, where they have a dictator basically, and you do see these same problems in Russia as well. So when you have a dictator and you want to build, I don't know, a missile. Let's say you're a dictator and you want to build a missile. What you do is you say, right, I'm going to give this contract to build my missiles to one of my family members. And whether they get that right or not, we're going to pay them. So they're going to get rich. That's how they do it in dictators. Or my friend, because he's got a GCSE in rockets. The Western way of doing it, the capitalist way of doing it, is saying, right, we need a missile built. You companies build missiles. All of you submit your project with your pricing, with your proposal, what it can do, and I will fund the best project. And then that way you get the best, you get the best projects. Again, there are problems with that. The time, the reliability, the red tape, I get it. But, I would rather have that system than the other system. Right, Frankie Gen X, I'm still waiting for your comment, Frankie. Where's Frankie's next comment? Oh, I think I've gone past it. Oh, no, I've gone past it. Right, hang on. Right, where's Frankie Gen X? Listen, guys, I do apologize. Frankie, if you subscribed and joined us in the mornings, I get all your comments in the mornings. In the mornings, ladies and gentlemen, we have a subscribers only chat. I do get everyone's comments in the morning. Right, okay, hang on. Where's Frankie Gen X? I'm sure Frankie Gen X is just put. Right, I can't find it. Where is it? Where's Frankie Gen X? Frankie Gen X. Right, Frankie Gen X is saying, so you believe Iran could have nukes behind the scenes? I do believe they could, yes. I don't think they will have developed them themselves. I think if Iran do have nuclear weapons, it would have been a gift by the Russians. Now, looking at the geopolitical posturing now between Iran and Russia, I am seeing that as maybe that is not as likely a scenario as was initially thought. Right, listen. Kelly is saying they'll get the sleeper cells. Look, I heard that there's been a black flag raised or something. And doesn't the black flag mean that, isn't the black flag a call to arms in the Muslim world? Let me Google this, guys, quickly. Let me Google that. Let me Google this quickly, guys. Is the black flag a Muslim call to arms? No, right, no. Okay, hang on. No, a black flag is not inherently a Muslim call to arms, though it is a symbol used by some extremist groups. While a black flag, particularly the standard, are rooted in Islamic tradition and have been associated with the Prophet Muhammad and early Islamic armies, their use has been co-opted by extremist organizations. All right, so it's a bit of a non-answer, actually. Let me just black. Right, I'm just asking AI now, guys. Right, I can't find. Right, I can't find it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to give that one a rest. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Oh, Coral Reefing, thank you so much for giving a subscription to Frankie Gen X. Thank you so much for that, Coral Reefing. So, Frankie Gen X, we'll be able to talk tomorrow and I won't miss your comments. Look, guys, I do apologize if I miss anyone's comments. I really don't mean to do that. The comments just go two crackers for me to get them all. In the mornings, we have a subscribers only chat, and because the chat is a lot less extreme like it is now, I can get to a lot more of your comments. Priv Caro is saying, am I on tomorrow? Yes, I'm right. Right, Coral Reefing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for that. Right, hang on. Right, where are we going with this? Right. Armed Forces. Right, yeah, this is another big one. Right, Armed Forces Day, guys, is the 28th of June. So Armed Forces Day today, guys, is the 28th of June. I do see that as a potential flashpoint. I do see that, guys, as a potential flashpoint. I see it as a potential flashpoint that would give more fuel to the summer of carnage, which we all know, if you live in the United Kingdom, you can feel it now, can't you? You can feel the summer of carnage coming. When you walk out on the streets now and you see groups and, groups of people segregated in different ways that just didn't happen a year ago, didn't happen 2 years ago, certainly didn't happen 10 years ago. Right, Iran is a paper tiger, says Silly Galadi, and then she just put Mossad. I don't know what that means, Silly. Silly, can you elaborate on that? So Silly's saying Iran is a paper tiger, and then straight away she's putting Mossad. Is that from Mossad? Is that what Mossad have said? I don't know. Is that what Mossad have said? Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I'm going to open that door because it is hotter than a man's. It's hotter It's hotter than my armpits earlier on the running machine, guys. It's really hot in here. I'm just going to open the door because I don't know if it's going to help or not. It might even make it hotter. Let me just open the door and try and get some air in here. Right, where are we? Oh, and Silly Galadi is saying the problem of Iran is Mossad. So Mossad would be the Israeli intelligence service. Iran has quite a lot of different meanings behind their flags. If you mean the one raised above the mosque in Qom, there was a lot of police out about it. And this week, while I was out in town, could be coincidence, but still. Monocrov, are you Monocrov? Hang on a minute. Right. Monocrov, are you in Iran right now? Like, Monocrov, are you in Iran right now? Like, Monocrov, can you let me know if you're in Iran right now? Because we've literally got, I think on the YouTube, we've got people in the chat who are in Israel and who are in Iran, which I think is pretty wild. I hope we can keep it civilized. But Monocrov, if you're still in, can you let me know if you're in? Oh. No. Monocrov's not. They're talking about, they was talking about in the United Kingdom. Right, okay, sorry. Right, okay. Right, okay. Korea is saying, does Iran have nuclear weapons? I would speculate yes, but officially no. Right. Mark Patton is saying, it's okay. I've got, he's saying something. It's okay. I've got text my friends and, oh, right. Okay. Good. Okay. Paka in Ukrainian is goodbye. Right, let me jump and get these comments. Right, guys, listen, I do want to jump on this actually because there's been a couple of live updates while we've been talking. I'm just going to jump up and get these live updates. Right, President Trump in the Oval Office says he's not looking for war with Iran. Right, guys, listen. How many times have I said, if somebody says but in a sentence, what they've said previously, they don't believe it, or it's fake? President Trump in the Oval Office said he is not looking for war with Iran, but if it's a choice between fighting them or having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. He said, and maybe we don't have to fight. So I'm not looking for war, but if it's a choice between fighting them or having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you got to do. And maybe we don't have to fight. Maybe they want a deal, but I can't see they want a deal. So I think that leaves us only one option. Trump added he had a meeting in the Situation Room in a little while, presumably for renewed discussions on the conflict. Right, they're going to leave this literally to the last moment, guys. They're going to leave this to the last moment. Remember, all the air-to-air refueling aircraft are now in that region. And again, look, guys, I'm going over things I've said in 2023. To understand Britain's real involvement, forget what the politicians are saying. Forget what David Lamb is saying, okay? I believe that Britain just, I believe Britain would be allied with the United States, would be allied with Israel in this matter. So forget what all the politicians are saying. Forget what they're saying. Look what's actually happening. Are the US military still operating out of RAF Akatiri? That's where we're going, guys, all right? Until somebody comes out and says, yeah, we're closing the airspace over RAF Akatiri, until that happens, no, it's all fake. It's all a show. 37 minutes ago, sticking in. Right, yeah, we've done that one. Right, I'm just going to see if there's any live updates, guys, okay? Right, live update from 6 minutes ago now, ladies and gentlemen, from Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, obviously, it's a Middle Eastern news outlet. They do have a lot of they do have a different dynamic on things, perspective. What do we know about US presidents thinking? Well, I'm not even going to read that, ladies and gentlemen, because I know it's just noise. Bodies of right. That's right. There's not much news coming out of there at the moment, guys. There's really not much news coming out of there at the moment. They're saying that there's breaking news, but there's not. It's just people making noise, trying to think of that something's happened. Yeah, there's absolutely. Don't listen to what anyone else is saying, guys, unless they are. Oh, hang on. Kira is saying look on Sky News. So let's look on Sky News. Let's look on Sky News. What are we talking about? War with Iran could be over within days. US Senator claims Iran is building missiles that can transcend Americans to beams of light. The speed which this is. I'm going to read this. Actually, I'll read this. I'll read this one. The speed at which Israel took down Iranian air defenses was shocking. Ex-Mossad intelligence chief tells the world. Another Iranian name guy, Israeli name. I can't pronounce the Israeli names, guys. I do struggle. That it took the country's air force 36 to 48 hours to dominate completely the skies above Iran. Yes, that did happen. Look, guys, I was in the invasion of Iraq. I was in the invasion of Iraq. I witnessed firsthand how quickly the coalition can move through these countries. So quickly. The coalition can move through these countries so quickly. My experience of Iraq, as I was going into Iraq, was grown men coming out crying, saying thank you. That's the only English word they knew, thank you. They were coming out and they were saying, very good, Blair. Very good, Bush. Go, Bush. Go, Blair. And that's the things that they were saying. So my experience of the Iraq conflict was of that. Now, the problems come 2, 3, 4, 5 years into those conflicts. The problems won't come with the initial invasion. The problems will come afterwards when the bad guys understand the rules of engagement. They can exploit the rules of engagement against the I guess you'd have to say the occupying force. So that's where the problems come. Like, people who are saying that, like, the regional partners, i.e. Israel and the United States, won't be able to take Iran, it's ludicrous. But can you hold it? That's the question. Remix Madness is saying, if the UK doesn't go to war this year, it will go fully bold. I think we're having. I think the UK what I think will happen is as soon as you see United States involvement in this conflict, that will empower the Russians. Then the Russians will know. The Russians will be like, right, okay, the United States have pulled all their funding from Ukraine. It will embolden the Russians, and at that point, that's when Britain will have to get involved in Ukraine. Like, full scale. Right, guys, listen, if you're commenting in another language, I only speak English. I can read limited Russian and limited Ukrainian. I can't read any Arabic. I cannot read any Arabic. I speak a little Arabic. I can't read it. So if you're putting things in a different language, I have no idea what it says. But you know what? I'm happy for you. Right, I'm just going to jump down and get these comments, guys. Right, whoa, hang on. What's happening here? What's happening? Right, Mustafa Kadir. Right, thank you for spamming, but you're going. Right, Mustafa's gone. Hang on, let me just see if there's anyone else spamming me. Mustafa Kirda has now left the building. Mustafa, goodbye. It was nice for you to be on my channel, but now you are gone. Right. Right, Abu Islam. Right, Abu, my friend. Right, okay. So Abu Ismail has come up with a comment here. Why is the United Kingdom getting involved, risking attacks on British soil? It's exactly because of this risk to attacks on British soil. It's not because of this, actually. It's there are many reasons, but this is one of the reasons, one of the minor reasons why Britain is not going to get involved. So Abu, you can tell your friends and all your mates who are, I don't know, sharpening whatever up, all right? The United Kingdom is not going to get involved in this conflict in the Middle East. There may be limited logistic support, but militarily, the United Kingdom will not get involved. Why? Because the United Kingdom is the backbone of the European project that will be at some point or is looking at a conflict in the Middle East. Anyway. Right, Aslin Farm Wife is saying, hi Raven, do you think Northern Ireland is safe? It depends what you mean by safe. I mean, I don't think anywhere's safe. And it depends of your, like, what do we class as safe? Don't forget, I've spent most of my working life working in hostile environments when, like, bad things were happening. I was driving around Syria when Jihadi John was cruising around, removing things from people, and I thought that was quite safe. So, I mean, if you think it's safe, then it's safe. What do we mean by safe? And by whose standards? Do you think Norway is safe? It depends what we mean by safe. It depends what we mean by safe. Like, if you live in the Western world, so if you live in if you live in the United Kingdom, the threat of like tanks or ships attacking you is very low. But the threat of sabotage, the threat of somebody going crackers on the street, the threat of mass civil order, the threat of civil disobedience, riots, protests, that sort of stuff is a lot higher. Right, listen, the chat is going bonkers. Oh, hang on, we've got a couple of comments on YouTube for you guys who are watching on YouTube. Sally again is saying, in Israel, we've been told we can go back to work tomorrow. Oh, silly. I don't know if that's safe for you guys to go back to work tomorrow. What I do know, though, is if Iran launches missiles to Israel, they understand there's a long way. Oh, listen. Oh, so word from Iran is that the Iranians may surrender. The Iranians may surrender tomorrow. That's why it might be a total surrender. It could be. I mean, listen, that would fit in well with what what the Iranians have said. So the Iranians came out, they said, we've got a surprise and the world is going to remember this for centuries. So as the comments are saying over on YouTube, maybe it's going to be a surrender. Maybe the Iranians are going to come out and they're going to say, yeah, we can't deal with those airstrikes. Yep, you guys are right. Capitalism does produce better military equipment, and unfortunately, we were not protected by the Lord above. He just didn't protect us. I thought he would protect us with some holy shield, but those F-35s kept coming in. So who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? And Liam here over on YouTube as well. What's the surprise the world will remember for decades? It was actually centuries. I think we've just answered that. Well, first of all, I don't know, and I would question whether the Iranians actually know. I think myself, nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no surprise. I just think it's smoke and mirrors. But Sally on on YouTube is saying that maybe the Iranians are going to have an unconditional surrender because that wouldn't. Hang on, who's spamming me there? Somebody's spamming me. Hang on. Yeah, right. Okay, right, guys. If you're going to spam me, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even giving anyone any more warnings anymore. You're just getting muted. You're just getting muted. We've literally talked about that, okay? While we're talking about things, people are literally spamming me. Guys, look, there's so many comments. There are so many comments. I really, like, it's difficult for me to get to them all, and just spamming them, other people who are trying to comment, it just makes it worse for everyone. Right. Nikolai, is it Nikolai? Yeah, Nikolai is saying, US carrier sunk very soon. Yeah, I did a video the other day, and that was from one of you guys' comments. The USS Nimitz is so for those of you guys who don't know, the USS Nimitz, it's an older aircraft carrier. It was supposed to be retired. Like, I think this year. It was supposed to be retired this year. They delayed that till next year. So what I think, and again, look, this is wild conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. This is wild conspiracy. Remember, the USS Nimitz is also a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. So just throw that in the mix as well. Yeah, that's a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. So what we're saying, what people were saying is that aircraft carrier could have been sent into the region. If they were going to scrap it anyway, why not? Oh, hang on. If they were going to scrap it anyway, oh, hang on, I've got work to do. If they were going to scrap that, hang on, guys. Looks like it's going to be a late one for the Raven. Oh, God, 16 messages. Oh, I've missed 16 messages. Should I open it? Should I open it, right? Then they know I've seen it. Or should I just not open it so they know I've not seen it? Hang on, I've opened it. Right, okay. Cool. Oh God, I should have. Oh, I had a thing here. I needed to respond. It should have been right 48 minutes ago. Right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna lie here and say, hey guys, just back from the gym. Just back from the gym. Catching up. And then a little heart. Should I do a little heart? I'll do the hand hearts. Right. Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are keeping me away from important work. I had 16 messages I've just missed, and I just had to lie. I just had to lie to a group chat and tell everyone I just got back from the gym. Kind of not a lie, because I have not long been back from the gym, but I think I don't think anybody's going to complain. Right, you know what? He might actually be watching over on, on YouTube. Right, let me jump. Right, where's the comments? Where are the comments? Yeah, Jeff saying LMA. Right, Jeff, are you, right, there's somebody on the group chat called Jeff. Jeff, is that you? Is that you, Jeff, on the group chat, and you're like laughing my arse off? Is that you, Jeff? And you're like, yeah, I know for a fact you're waffling, Sean. Is that how we're rolling now? Is that how we're rolling? But anyway, listen, guys, I did. One of you guys was asking in the comments. For me to go over hibernate, relocate, evacuate. Now, hibernate, relocate, evacuate, it's a working model. And again, listen, like, for example, people in Israel, they'll be following this model now. People in Iran, they will be following this model right now. So it's kind of like a management tool that helps you understand when you should be hiding, when you should be moving, and when you should be on a plane out of that country. So just remember that, guys, all right? Write it down, whatever. Hibernate, relocate, evacuate. So I'll give you the scenario now, and I'll give you the scenario for the United Kingdom. And then obviously you'll be able to see how the same algorithm fits into if you live in Israel, if you live in Iran, if you live anywhere, basically. So, hibernate, relocate, evacuate. I mean, no apologies for saying it over and over, because it is important for you guys to understand it. So, I used to teach this to people who were operating in hostile environments. So, a hostile environment would be Iraq, Afghanistan, Eastern Ukraine, Syria, those parts of the world where you don't have emergency services, where, you may be overrun by rebels or a military at some point. So this is why we used to teach it. So the first thing I would always say is hibernate. So your first port of call. So imagine now, guys, all right, you're in the United Kingdom or wherever, and civil unrest is broken out. There's rioting, there's protesting, there's counter-protesting, the police have lost control, and it's all gone wrong. The first thing you need to do is hibernate. Look to hibernate for you need to have enough food, water, and fuel to hibernate for around 3 days. After 3 days, if it's still ongoing, you really do need to think about moving. After that, you need to move to another location. Now, try and pick somebody's location, like a friend, a family's house that's relatively in the open, far away from anywhere, where you're not going to get third party attention. All go there. Literally just go there, put tents in the garden. That's your relocation spot. And then you can go back to your house or your flat or whatever afterwards. If things are still bad, if things are still bad or getting worse, at that point you may need to think about evacuating. Evacuating would be leaving the country. And then, as one of you guys said, Googling says, if things are still bad all over the world, you may need to alienate, which would be leaving the country. Right, leaving the world. Right, where is, right, I still don't get it. Right, okay, right. I'll do a standalone video on it, guys, okay? I will do a standalone video on hibernate, relocate, evacuate. Rachel Samantha is saying, Sean, do you have a plan in place? Are you planning for the worst? Yeah, literally, like if we have to evacuate, we're going straight to Ukraine, as peculiar as that sounds. Right, I'm going to jump down, guys. I'm going to jump down. Where would Brits evacuate to? I mean, you might see a load of Brits on rubber dinghies trying to make their way to France. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? There's a load of Brits on rubber dinghies with oars trying to make it to France. Kieran is saying Poland. Every war is planned, says KXNK. I'm just going to say Kay Hartley. I'm just going to say Kay Hartley. Kay Hartley is saying every war is planned. Of course, every war is planned. It would be a little bit silly to go into a war without any planning. I don't know. Maybe they do. Cams and Cam is saying, what's happening? Listen, we'll be talking about a lot today. I'm just going to run through quickly what we have been talking about. I'm just going to run through quickly what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the surprise that the Iranians have said that they're gonna, the Iranians are gonna have a surprise and it's gonna be remembered for centuries. I've been looking all over the news, guys. I can't see what it is. I think it was just fake news from the Israelis. Although some of your comments are maybe the Iranians are going to surrender. Maybe they're going to have an unconditional surrender, because that certainly would be talked about for the next 100 years. Why are we talking about British evacuating? Sorry, it ain't being updated. Gemma Wild, don't worry about it. It was just something we were saying earlier. I don't think Britain are going to be evacuated anytime soon. Dawson Craven is saying, if the US attacks Iran, will other countries attack us? No. Right, guys, listen, I always need to prioritize these. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying this since day one, all right? If you live in the United Kingdom, your main game is Eastern Europe. I've literally been like, go back through my videos on TikTok, on YouTube. They're all there. They're all there on public record. If I'm lying, somebody there's plenty of people saying, yeah, you did say that, Sean. But if I'm lying, if you think I'm waffling, you can go back on my videos. And like from 2024, where I'm saying exactly what's happening now will happen. So the main event for the United Kingdom is what's happening in Europe. This conflict in the Middle East, it's going to be dealt with by the United States and Israel. Now, whether that's a win, lose, or a draw, I would suspect it's going to be the United States the United States and Israel are going to reign supreme. But it's not really going to affect people initially for the first phase anyway in the United Kingdom. That because the United Kingdom's main effort is going to be in Europe. Yeah, and then esoteric there, and this is one of the minor reasons why esoteric there. And if you're watching on YouTube, esoteric is just put certain demographics in England might be more inclined to side with Iran. And again, you know, that is one of the minor reasons why the United Kingdom is not going to get involved in this conflict in the Middle East. Where the buckets of water and where the march, Brax, I don't know what that means, but if you elaborate a little bit more, I'll try and get more information. Anyone with a tie in front, I don't trust. Yeah, guys, listen. Right, okay. Remix madness, Sean. If Iran sends nukes, will the UK go to war? Right, okay. Look, this is a good segue, right? This is a good segue into what I was going to talk about, guys, all right? So, Remix Madness is saying, if Iran sends nukes, will the UK go to war? Now, I warn you, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get weird. From now on, it's going to get weird, guys. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. So, maybe you want to, like, I don't know, that things are going to get weird from now on. So, the question is from Remix Madness, Sean, if Iran sends nukes, will the UK go to war? First of all, I don't think the Iranians or anyone are going to send nuclear weapons anywhere. And this is a wild one, ladies and gentlemen, but I think there is a lot of evidence over the years that UFOs have been in and around these areas where missile silos have been kept. And there's a lot of evidence and reports talked about that when people try and send nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear weapons, they get taken down by UFOs. Now, back in 2024, when the Ukrainians went into Russia, that was a perfect time for Russia to use a nuclear weapon. That was a perfect time for Russia to use a nuclear weapon, guys. It was. That was a perfect time. The Russians could have used a nuclear weapon by putting it on the back of a truck, driving a truck in, and then they wouldn't have had to all the additional engineering of putting it on an intercontinental ballistic missile, none of that sort of stuff. They could have literally just drove it in. Now, that didn't happen. So straight away, I was like, that's a bit weird. Now, this is open source, guys, right? I'm not saying anything here. I'm not saying anything here that is not factually correct. So what I want to bring everyone on to now, guys, is another thing. Something called, I don't know if you guys know, but there's something landed in, and it's all, you can find news articles on this. It's just not being shared. It's just not being shared. So there's something happened in Colombia where this football-sized sphere landed in Colombia. It's called the Booger sphere. Now, scientists have got this thing and they've opened it up. And as they were opening it up, it was transmitting a radio frequency. It was transmitting something on a frequency. They don't know what it was. As they've opened it up, they found fiber optics and they found some sort of what they think is sensors. Now, you put all this together right now while there's an acclaimed asteroid heading towards Earth that's going to make its closest flyby on Friday the 13th in 2029. I think Friday the 13th of April 2029. Guys, listen. I'm not calling it yet, but I think there's something very suspicious about all this information that's happening, and everybody's just so fixated on war and who's going to bomb who. We're kind of not looking up in the skies. But anyway, that was my weird bit. Guys. Listen, I am going to close TikTok down in a second. I am going to close TikTok down in a second. Right. Oh, hang on. Brax is saying, what side are you on? Do you know what? I really, Brax, I'm on the side of no wars, no sons and daughters not coming back to their families, no mums and dads not coming back to their children. I'm on the side of exploration, space exploration, having a moon base, asteroid mining, having a Mars base, and exploring the vast, almost infinite resources of the cosmos. I would love it. I would love a future where we're not looking at who's got the best missiles, who's got the best aircraft to destroy other people. I would much rather my children growing up in a world where we're looking at, we can still have that competitivity, guys. We can still have that competitivity. We can still have America versus Russia, but instead of them doing this, right, okay, America's just developed a new machine to go and mine asteroids. The Russians have just developed a new landing craft that can bring back more resources. That is the future that I want to live in. That's the future I believe we can have. But unfortunately, so what side am I on? I'm on the side of like, no, all wars are pointless, and in 10 years they'll be back to normal anyway. But anyway, right, let me jump down for a little bit of a rant. Right, guys, listen, I am going to close this down now, guys. I'm sorry, there are so many comments. I'm going to be over on YouTube, guys. I'm going to be over on YouTube for a couple of minutes. I may even get a carbonated beverage out of the fridge. In fact, I said I'd bring a glass. I don't know if I've got a glass in here. I may get a carbonated beverage out. I'll be back on tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, 10 a.m. UK time. I will be double streaming again. I'm going to go over to YouTube. I'll be over to you on YouTube for 5, 10, 15 minutes, as long as you guys comments keep me on there. And that is it, guys. I'm going to close this down now. I'm going to get my carbonated drink out of the fridge, and then I am going to mag to grid, which in military terms is mag to grid, get rid. Right, end live. I'll see you in the morning. I think we're off. Right, I am just streaming now on YouTube. Witchy Labs jumped over. Silly Gallardi saying the main problem of the UK is Sharia law. Silly Gallardi, I could not agree with you more. We don't have a race problem in the United Kingdom. We have a culture problem. We've always had a culture problem. We have look, guys, I love Middle Eastern culture. I do. I love it. I love going out to the Middle East. I love like some of the best times of my life were in Baghdad, sat on the rooftops in Baghdad. On a Friday, we'd have a huge T-bone steak, a bottle of Beaujolais, and a big cigar. You know, they were good times, guys. You know, they were good times. But unfortunately, we now have a situation in the United Kingdom where people are pushing for Sharia law. It's absolutely absurd. And not just are people pushing for Sharia law, people are abiding by Sharia law. We know this. Look, guys, this is all going to come out with this grooming gangs scandal, because it started now. The government have withheld, I mean, I heard the lady say, what's her name, the Baroness Casey, she said this report could take 5 years. They're not going to be focusing on local council, they're not going to be focusing on social workers, they're not going to be focusing on police. They're the people who hid this stuff. You live in the capital of abuse, says Tracy Leyland. I don't know what that means. I live in the capital of abuse. I don't know what that means. I live in the capital of abuse. I don't know what that means. Witchy Lab has jumped over, and hello, Witchy Lab. I think we said that already. Witchy Lab, you have an infantruce problem. Infantruce? I don't know what that word is. I don't know. Witchy Lab, can you help me out here with your last comment? We have an intrusive problem or something in the UK. We haven't had any growth. Are we talking about an infant problem? Like we don't have any children in the United Kingdom? I don't know where we're going with that, guys. Witchy Lab, you're going to have to help me out. You are going to have to help me out. Lisa Jane is saying, No, I don't think it was, because if you change the word infrastructure, if you said we have an infrastructure problem in the United Kingdom, we haven't had any growth. That maybe it is, maybe it is. I mean, we do have lots of problems in the United Kingdom. We have mass overspends. We have lots of money, lots of taxpayers' money going to other countries. We have lots of taxpayers' money going to legal companies who are filling out forms. Right, Lisa Jane, I'm just going to pin this one, is saying, I think they should all be held accountable, no stone unturned. But, like, I do as well. How does that work? Like, how does that, how does that work, like, in a time frame? How do you do that in a, how do you do that in a reasonable, like, how do you do that in a reasonable time frame? What I think they should do, look, right, okay. Yes, that has created resentment among us. Right, okay, so we're talking about infrastructure creating resentment above no infrastructure, no growth. Yeah, I guess it has. You look at countries like China who spend all their money on, big infrastructure projects for their country, head and shoulders above what we've got, guys. Right, where was this comment? So, like, with this inquiry, guys, about the grooming gangs, with this inquiry about the grooming gangs, I think the only way to do it realistically is, like, for the government to say, right, freedom of information, everything's unlocked, and let local journalists just do it themselves. Because if we have like a national run, and again, listen, I'm clearly not an expert, but the way I see this going is, if it's like a national run thing, it's got to be done, and it's going to take forever. If the government just say, right, any information regarding this gets opened up, then that would give you, me, Sky News, BBC News, GB News, CNN News. It would give every news organisation and every independent journalist the ability to go and look through that information. And when there's more eyes looking on information, making those dots, connecting those dots, it will happen a lot quicker and it'll be more thorough. If as a country, we're going to say, right, we're going to have a team of 12 people, what are they going to achieve? What are they going to achieve when potentially hundreds of thousands of people this is affected? So I'm like I said in previous comments, I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day. I don't, but I do think all the information will come out. All the information will come out. People will get. You're already seeing it, guys. You're already seeing people have more. People being braver now to speak up in public, people having more capacity to speak out in public about this sort of stuff. So yeah, I do think all the information will come out at some point, but I don't think it's going to be released in the way that we want it to be released. Dizzy Doodle is saying, don't really comment, but love your insights. Dizzy Doodle. Do you know what, Dizzy Doodle? Thank you for your comments. Just throw some comments up there. Listen, I try and answer as many comments as I can and give you guys as much insight as I can. Yeah, make it an international agreement, saying Lisa Jane. Henfish? Who's Henfish? What a fantastic name. Henfish is saying they won't, as the government. Yeah, again, this is what I think as well. My perception of this is they're not going to implement themselves, guys. That's my perception of it anyway. Lisa Jane is saying, wow, listen, guys, you know what, it's YouTube, I can say it. Lisa Jane is saying they reckon over 8,000 children in Bradford. Listen, guys, I said a comment earlier on YouTube, on TikTok, and I was like, when I said it, I was like, oh God, I've got myself banned again. But in Islam, if you die as a let's get this up. Let me just get this up because you see where I'm going with this. Right, so I'm just reading this, guys, off AI. The idea of 72 virgins as a reward in paradise is a common trope within some interpretations of Islamic scripture, particularly within Hadith traditions. While the Quran itself doesn't explicitly state the number, certain Hadiths, which are collected saying the actions attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, describe a heavenly abode with a significant number of wives interpreted as virgins. Is that code for children? Like, and I know I like, but like, have we just stumbled on something there, guys? Have we just stumbled on something? I don't know. You guys put it in the comments. I don't know. I'm just like, when I'm looking into these, you know, these ancient practices whereby like people do stuff and you know, and do stuff to people do stuff to like, you've got like the ancient go back to Babylon, go back literally as far as human recorded human history is. The one I think that's most documented is it the Incans? I think is it the Incans? Yeah, the Incans. Like the Incans in South America, they used to they would go dark and do like human unaliving on mass scales. And one of the things that like it's written is they use the word virgin. And I always think, is virgin code for a younger person? Because they don't want to say younger person or, I don't know, child. Do they use the word virgin as, and I know when like other people are talking about this, they say the same thing as well, but is the word virgin code for a young person? I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, let me jump down and get these comments. Oh, right, listen, henfish. Right, henfish, you're opening up a rabbit hole here, henfish. Henfish, I know exactly what the Red Shoe Club is. What's that company? Balenciaga or something? Like, so there's a company out there, guys, all right? It's a clothes company. Balenciaga is am I saying that right? It's like Balenciaga or something. And literally, the word Balenciago, I think in Italian or Latin, means Baal is king. And if you look who Baal is, Baal literally used to eat kids. So all these people, oh man, I've got my Balenciago t-shirt on it, with 300 quid. You're like, you do realize what you're supporting wearing that Balenciago stuff. Anyway, no word of a lie, guys. I saw my sister wearing a red pair of Balenciago shoes. So I looked at her and I was like, so I said to Sarah, Sarah, I've just seen my sister with some red velvet Balenciaga shoes. She's like, shut up. I was like, no, seriously. Like, I don't know what to say. She says, well, did you say anything to her? I said, well, no. I mean, how do you approach that? I mean, they're like these red little heel on him. It said Balenciaga at the side or whatever it's called. Anyway, when I told my sister, she was absolutely horrified. She literally, she took them off her feet and she burned them right there and then. But yeah, some people do wear red shoes and they don't know what they don't know what it signifies. Yeah, well done, Carolina Ritchie, refusing to wear any of those products. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I am going to close down this. I'm going to close down this live as well. I'm going to close down this. Well, listen, Rachel Lee here is saying 8,000 is just the tip of the iceberg. Look, ladies and gentlemen, my opinion with all this matter, these gangs. Listen, guys, I grew up in Rotherham in the 90s. I left in 99. I joined the army. I went to Aldershot. I then went to Dover. I then lived in Wales. I then various locations. Lots of military deployments. bad things were happening, guys. Bad things were happening, and the police were unable to do anything because of the way the police had been politicized. So I hope all this information comes out. I'm not convinced it's going to be released by the government, but I do think it will come out at some point. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Throwing some rabbit holes down there, throwing all sorts of stuff down. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll be back on tomorrow. What time will I be back on? 10 o'clock tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And if you've not done so already and you're here, like, subscribe, comment, bell notification down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wrong mouse, wrong mouse.